Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm the host. I'm a fellow of Real Estate Bureau of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. Brokerage. Tonight's topic I picked up building consumer confidence in real estate. The Ontario government took initiative through regulator, Real Estate Council of Ontario, and took feedback from everyone to make changes to Real Estate Business Broker Act and to reform the REBA. On January 24 was 22 this year was the deadline. As you know, during this COVID, some different things happen. Your market change, affordability become issue, bidding war was happening, lots of changes in the marketplace, shorter supply, people were not happy, and buyer was not able to buy the property, a bidding war going on. So obviously we expected that because the Real Estate Council of Ontario, a regulator who acts on behalf of the Ontario government, will improve because lots of people will complain about the process and if they were discriminated or they were not happy what's going on in the marketplace. So there are key changes that's coming, and we're going to talk about each one. These are, first of all, Real Estate Business Broker Act of 2002 is being renamed as a Trust in Real Estate Services Act 2002, and is effective April 1st, 2023. So they're changing the name of REBA 2002 to Trust in Real Estate Services Act, which is TRESA 2002. So that's the first change. They're going to also update the Code of Ethics. So viewers, the Code of Ethics Regulation 580/5, it gives guidelines and direction to registrant, which is a salesperson, broker, or broker record, with the register with the Real Estate Council of Ontario under Real Estate Business Broker Act. They follow Code of Ethics, and those Code of Ethics are being improved. And we're going to talk about that what is changes are coming. So they're going to do the changes. Then also they want to providing greater clarity of customer option. You know, when you are buying a property, you sign as a buyer agent services or buy customer services, property not listed on the market, you're a seller's agent, you're doing a multiple representation, and you are representing buyer and seller. Is it I'm represented by the brokerage or not? The person who's buying and selling the same house? Am I protected? Am I customer? Am I client? So there are changes coming. We're going to talk about those changes. These are one in the process. They're not been implemented, but they're coming. And once that become effective as of April 1st, 2023. Now, the other thing is they're talking about removing the barrier to open bidding, open offers. Right now, we are restricted to disclose content of the offer. Because remember, there was a federal government also initiative. They want to eliminate this bidding process because they think it will help to stimulate and not to exaggerate the prices or by predicting what would be the price. Now, it appears that if they open it up, they will give you more choices to seller whether they want to adopt this open-end process or they want to use traditional, which is going on. So we're going to talk about that. So then also introduction of a mandatory consumer guide. This is where consumer protection comes into the picture. You know, remember that Real Estate Council of Ontario is a regulator that is mandated by the Ontario government to provide education, registration, compliance, and consumer protection program. So they constantly talk to the stakeholders, talk to the consumer, talk to the registrant, talk to the people, and come up with changes to improve the system so the confidence of consumer remain good. because this industry, market or real estate market profession is a very significant engine to economy. Therefore, they want to make sure it remain that way and people can trust and build confidence. Realty Coffee Talk that we talk about is increase awareness, building consumer confidence. This is how Realty Coffee Talk started. Increasing awareness, building consumer confidence, and creating connectivity so we are able to talk to each other, and also good ethic and professional standards follow, encouraging realtors and real estate profession to follow the good ethics. That is all about, but we are a program that educate that. RICO is a regulator. If you want to learn about their program and their guidelines, you can go to reco.on.ca. There's a Real Estate Council of Ontario. There is a consumer section, and there is a registrar and professional section. And they are beautifully done. Our registrar, his name is Ask the Joe. I have the honor of exchanging email with him regarding, because when I do coffee talk, I do send him some guidance information. Amazing personality. Since he became our registrar, many things has improved. It has tremendous and amazing system. So I really thank Joe for helping it out. And his motto is to make sure the professional follow the law and code of ethics, and consumer not to unnecessarily complain unless there is a really violation. So he has kind of run to the balance. We have a disciplinary committee. There's so many opportunities for anyone to complain. Go to reco.on.ca or complaints@reco.on.ca and send your request in. They will get back to you right away. So let's talk about other thing, and also expanding RICO's disciplinary and investigation power, because there are some restrictions. Their RICO cannot do certain things, so they are trying to say it's effective next year. They want to make these changes to this, so it's going to be effective. So first of all, Real Estate Business Broker Act is becoming Trust in Real Estate Services Act. It's called TRESA. Now, what changes are coming is a new principle-based code of ethics that applies to registrant conduct will take place of existing codes. So new code of conduct will come into picture right now. If you go to reco.on.ca, you can download REBA, the law that governs our profession in the province of Ontario. So you guys, the consumer, you're lucky. We have a good regulator. He has a good heart, and he's preparing and protecting you. He's making sure that consumer have more confidence in dealing in real estate services. Now, advanced disclosure, the biggest challenge we have in bidding war, or if someone is buying the property, is disclosure requirement. They want to make the language of the disclosure simpler. So therefore, that means you can understand what this disclosure is all about. So if it's written, it's for the buyer and the seller. For example, there will be a greater clarity about the obligation for the seller's brokerage to disclose material facts. See, sometimes something is wrong with the property, but the seller said, don't disclose that. You put the seller, registrant, in a difficult situation. Sometimes good real estate professional will walk away from you because they will not sell your property, because those are material facts that needs to be disclosed. That's the code of ethics. Our regulation 580, Ontario Regulation 580/5, that says that material facts is section 21, finding material facts about the property. So we have obligation to disclose that, because it's going to affect the decision of the buyer, what kind of offer he or she wants to make. So it's very, very important that you understand that. This is why disclose it. When you disclose it and you get acknowledgement, and there is a protocol for disclosure. You can put in an agreement of purchase and sale, you put on an MLS, or you disclose through email or whatever. It has to be disclosed and acknowledged by the buyer, or there will be more form coming up. Now, there is also clarity about the option consumer have on interacting with the brokerage. This includes useful information about helping consumer the option they would prefer, to understand the services, how the buyer and seller is representing them. And you also will have the real estate agent make sure that he does certain things in a certain way to make sure he has explained the risk. The real thing is risk. You are selling a property, and based on the market condition, based on the property that you have, condition of the property, the real estate agent or broker will explain to you what are the risks involved with at that time. Time changes. Right now is still a seller's market, reason being that there is a shortage of supply. If you have seen the episode last 2 weeks, we have a federal government member of parliament. She was here. We talk about federal affordability and housing initiatives. Then we have, last week, we have an Ontario government MPP talk about Ontario government affordability and housing initiatives. So every level of the government, and obviously the Ontario government not only deal with this issue directly, but they provide guidelines and legislative changes where the city is going to implement, and they are providing financial support. Federal government and Ontario government is providing more support to the municipalities so they can digitize the approval process so it has a less headache, and they're able to optimize, and they're giving them money to hire more people in a planning and development department. So the more quicker the plans are reviewed, building applications are approved, and permits are issued. So this is why it's very, very important that you know that how everything is working. So when you are hiring a real estate professional, you will know who is representing you. Is it an agent who is representing the buyer, or the agent who is representing the seller? And obviously, under the law, if there is a corporation, is the brokerage, unless individual self-employee is registered as a brokerage. So there are three type of brokerage. Self-employed, one person have a brokerage in his own name, or you have a partner, two partners have a brokerage, or more than one partner, or then you have a corporation. Like City Pro Realty Brokerage is a corporation that is registered under REBA as a brokerage to practice in real estate. Now, they're going to test. The reason is that when buying or selling a house, and this is the biggest financial decision of a consumer, so there are risks and pitfalls how the business is conducted. So the real estate professional or registrant will explain you the risk, selling this way, selling that way. I give you an example of that. I was recently visited a property that I will be listing soon, next month, in Etobicoke. I'm not going to name the specific geography, but Etobicoke, where a property was listed for 1.59. Okay, it didn't sell after 4 weeks or 3-4 weeks, and then it was listed again close to $2 million. So my agent, my client was asking, potential client was asking, why they listed so low and now they're asking 2 million and it didn't sell. So I said, well, they need to ask the realtor who did that or the seller. They're going to have a challenge if they couldn't sell it for 1.6 at that time and asking for bidding war, then how they're going to sell it for $2 million now. So I always suggest to a real estate professional, please look at your most recent sold property in there, analyze it, create a comparative market analysis, look at the cost approach, look at assessed value approach, and look at many ways of calculating a value, estimate value. And if property is sold for $1.85 or $1.9 million within a week on the same street or in the same neighborhood, why would you list for 1.6? Just to show that I sold 200,000 above the market value? That doesn't cut it. It gives a bad impression. Why they need a real estate professional if you are doing with this? So educate that, because you are going to create a distrust of consumer when you're doing and underlisting the property, even though it's legal to do so. So the barrier is that's a risk. So this was a risk. I hope that he or she has explained to the listing agent, because when I list the property next month, I will be doing the calculation. So and she was very happy how detailed my proposal was. So this is very important. Now, the other change is coming. Barrier to open offers will be removed. Right now, we can't disclose the content of the offer except number of offers. So they are removing it, because I remember the federal government is also taking some initiative on that direction. As you remember last episode, the government is coming up with a 2 years ban on foreign buyers. And Ontario government has increased 20% non-resident tax across Ontario. So is this definitely going to have some impact, because foreign used to invest a lot of money in Ontario. Now they're not going to be able to do that. So now also the mortgage rate benchmark has increased 3 quarters already, 0.25, 0.25, 125. And it's expected that there will be another 4-quarter increases coming up in 2022 or up to towards 2023. So that means rise of this, restriction from foreign buyers, speculation tax in Ontario, this improved building and approving process, funding by the government of Ontario and federal government to the cities, and also this increase of mortgage rate will create that environment where industry will a little bit cool down a little bit. Still, there is a shortage of supply. The new construction, approximately when you're building a subdivision, it takes about 2.5 to 3 years to build houses. So that means those, if they're approved today, they won't be coming in the market until 2.5, 3 years. Now, if you are building a vertical high-rise building, sometime 20, 30, 40 story high, you will need at least 4 to 5 years construction time to take position. Therefore, those houses are not coming in the market. So this condition will continue. We're going to take a short break, and we'll come back to our show, and we continue conversation on building consumer confidence in real estate services.
So, now it's fully renovated. Live catering, barbecue, tandoor, जलेबियाँ और fresh naan. तकरीब आपके घर में हो या घर से बाहर, Zoc is providing full service now, and Zoc has opened a new banquet hall, garden event center. आपका Zoc देखकर लोग कहेंगे क्या Zoc है आपका? Call right now 905-625-7786. Zoc वालों के लिए.
दूर रहकर भी जो पास होते हैं, वो रिश्ते बहुत खास होते हैं. अपनों की याद इनको भी आती है. रमजान यहाँ भी वही बरकतें लाता है. चांद रात पर ये भी खूब खुशियां मनाते हैं. मेहंदी, चूड़ियां यहाँ भी आते हैं. अपने वतन की खुशबू से जो दूर हैं यारब, दुआ है उनका हर दिन खुशियों से भरपूर हो यारब. वतन से दूर भी वतन के पास. J-Dot.
Awaz Entertainment and PGA International presents the 11th edition of Eid Bazaar.
Celebrate the most joyous occasion and get yourself prepared for Eid at National Banquet Hall in Mississauga on the 30th of April and the 1st of May. Visit with your friends and family. For more information, contact Samina Jabin at 416-786-9809.
Secondhand Canada is helping communities more than a decade. Here is our food bank, one of the most important aspects of our organization. Here is where we provide our clients with the highest quality produce, meat, and dairy products to suit their needs.
Here at Sacred Hand Canada, we provide more than 125 hot meals per day to individuals who cannot afford it. This includes seniors, international students, and people in general who cannot cook for themselves.
Here at Sacred Hand Canada, we provide free clothing and household items to newcomers, refugees, and those in need. This is our way of helping the environment by recycling, reusing, and giving back to the community.
Here at Sacred Hand Canada, we believe every child deserves an education. This is why we started the free tutoring program from kindergarten to grade 8.
So this is the community room. This is a room where we run all of our programs here at Sacred Hand Canada. So I can use this room as an escape to escape from whatever they're dealing with.
So here at Sacred Hand Canada, we provide deliveries for our clients. This is an extension of our food bank for our clients who are unable to have transportation to come to our office.
Your generous donation will help us to reach many more to support for the food, shelters, and medical. Please donate generously. Visit our location, 5004 Timberley Boulevard, Unit 2629. You can reach us by calling 905-624-0333. If you have any need or any help, do not hesitate to contact us. We'll be more than happy to help you.
सियासत से तिजारत तक
सबसे पहले घबराना नहीं,
तालीम से मईशत तक
आपके जेब पे डाका डालना जानते हैं,
सेहत से सनत तक
तो चोर घर में आ चुका है जनाब स्पीकर।
हुकूमती ऐवानों से चाय खानों तक कोई नहीं बच पाएगा तकरार से। कौन, कब, कैसे, क्यों जैसे सवाल बनते हैं मौजू प्रोग्राम तकरार में। देखते रहिए तकरार कनाडा से बराह रास्त समीना जबीन के साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे सिर्फ आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट पर।
इस रमजान मुबारक में प्रोग्राम ज़ेरो ज़बर मगर एक नए अंदाज में एक बहुत ही ग्रैंड और शानदार बच्चों के लिए इस्लामिक क्विज।
सवाल जवाब की तैयारी हो गई। कुरान पाक में कितनी आयत है? 6366। आपका जवाब दुरुस्त है।
इन सब की तैयारी तो हो गई, तो क्या आप भी तैयार हैं? ये जानने के लिए कि कौन होता है ज़ेर और कौन होता है ज़बर,
सिर्फ आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट पर।
डिक्सी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस पिछले 16 सालों से खरीदारों की खिदमत कर रहे हैं। हम लगातार 4 सालों से खरीदारों की पहली पसंद बने रहने का अवार्ड हासिल कर चुके हैं। हम किचनर्स, बॉश, वर्लपूल, एलजी, सैमसंग और जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक के ऑथराइज्ड डीलर हैं। 5 स्टार खिदमत का लुत्फ लें। हम आप सभी को टीवी सबसे ज्यादा रियायती दामों पर देने की गारंटी देते हैं। www.dixieelectronics.ca हमारी वेबसाइट पर जाएं या अभी कॉल करें 905-625-5900। सभी बहुत ही मुनासिब कीमत पर दस्तयाब हैं जो आप बाआसानी से ले सकते हैं। At Dixie, we sell quality and deliver confidence.
Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow Royal Institute of Canada broker of record of City Pro Realty Inc. Brokerage and your host of Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. We were talking about regulatory changes that are coming effective April 1st, 2023 and how it is going to evolve making those changes. So one thing is interesting that's happening about is that the clarity of relationship between the seller and the buyer with the brokerage. Who is representing who? What are the risks? And what happening is the Real Estate Council now is going to provide you a forum to explain the risk involved and what they can expect from a brokerage. So they're going to provide this, but never happened before. Now it's going to be a guidelines, the form that you will be signing it, saying that what is the risk if you're not using realtors, and you have the option of either taking a buyer or agent, having under multiple offer condition, either you will have a client or self-supporting yourself. They are eliminating the customer service because always create ambiguity, false impression whether you are being protected or not. When you are a consumer and you sign a client privilege, it becomes a fiduciary duty. When you customer service, it will provide you accurate, accountable information, everything, but the obligation is not as good as the client. So therefore, they are eliminating that now for the consumers, customer service. So also, remember we talk about the barrier to open offer will be removed. Give our seller the option to use open offer process to sell their property. So while maintaining the confidentiality of those making the offer. So we need a clarity, what can be disclosed, what cannot be disclosed. So this legislative change coming to Teresa will explain to us, right now we can only disclose number of offers. That's it, no content. With the consent of the seller, we follow the protocol that needs to be provided to us by the Real Estate Council of Ontario. The other thing is every buyer and seller who engages with the restaurant will be given a consumer information guideline. That guideline, key information everyone should know. This guide will be produced by Real Estate Council. So now Real Estate Council is taking a very aggressive initiative to make sure you are provided guidance. And if you are a buyer or a seller, and you may have to sign that, acknowledge that somehow that you have been provided the guidelines. So your open bidding concept is being corrected. You eliminate a customer relationship, the more disclosure, relationship with the buyer and seller as a brokerage, clarity, either you want to represent yourself or you use a client in a multiple offer and you have a full understanding and disclosure and all the code of ethics. So now in the code of ethics, the RICO, they will broaden the disciplinary committee's power to impose condition on registration, suspend a registration, and revoke a registration. Authority is currently does not have. So they're going to have this extra power. The appeal of all matters decided by RICO Discipline Committee will be going to License Appeal Tribunal, LAT, rather than RICO Appeals Committee. So there's appeal, License Appeal Tribunal. LAT is an independent quasi-judicial tribunal. So this will be new addition. Allow RICO to inquire into restaurant's conduct and refer a matter to the disciplinary committee whether or not there is a formal complaint. So right now, the RICO will not take any action unless complaint is received. With this change, the RICO can take initiative and demand from the conduct of the registrant to give information, whatever, if they are suspected of doing something wrong or contravention to REBA or Teresa at that time. So this is changing. And also this will permit RICO to require registrant to report specific transactional data. Remember when we have doing buying and selling, there's lots of things happening. And they can ask data and subject information subject to regulatory requirement. So they will demand the data. I have heard many stories from people. People can't afford it, but they bought a property, they can qualify. They have a cash income, but they don't have the mortgage approval. The realtor has removed the condition. They bought the property, they can qualify. You know, when the people are complaining about it, this kind of thing. One way the buyer or seller want to hide or break the law is a criminal to provide false information to the lender to secure a mortgage. So we are conduit. If you are a realtor and you making a referral to a mortgage agent or broker to arrange a mortgage, and the person you know doesn't qualify, you will be involved with that complaint if that something happens. Not only securing a mortgage, also carrying the mortgage and making the payment for a period of time is a big challenge. This is where you draw the line. You don't breach your code of ethics. You have fiduciary duty to protect the interest of your client. You have to be competent, honest, professional, have the integrity. Read Code of Ethics, Regulation 580/5, Code of Conduct under REBA. If you don't, I highly recommend you do that because things are getting tough. They're going to be charging, coming to you, and they will have more teeth to prosecute you for the complaint that comes there with the due process, and you will be charged. The penalty for ethical issues, it can go up to $50,000, and it goes $100,000 to the brokerage. When you are hiring people who are working for you, make sure they follow the law. You know, this pandemic has created an environment. Business has been transformed, digital, multiple bidding, no inspection, appraisal is coming lower than the value that is negotiated, agreement, purchase, sale. Lots of things happen. Lots of deals have fallen apart. These are all part and parcel with the person who is representing a consumer to make sure he or she is capable of not only executing that agreement of purchase and sale, but make sure that he or she is able to close the deal without jeopardizing. And also the risk is to make sure you calculate the risk to make sure that they are able to close the deal and also maintain. They have payment, mortgage payment for 3 to 6 months in their account. They are passable. They can handle it. They have a good job. So it's a part of, when I'm a principal broker with Canada Express Mortgage. We have know your product, know your client. And that know your client, we check everything to make sure he or she can borrow this money and they qualify based on their total debt service or GDC gross debt service. And we know that we're comfortable. Similarly, product, know your product, what you are offering them means what product, what house you are buying for them, make sure it meets their need and they can afford it. It's an affordability issue, and you are providing a sincere and honest services. And that's the whole purpose of Real Estate Council of Ontario, the regulator and the Ontario government to do consumer protection exercise. It's a law, and they are building consumer confidence in real estate. Now, this is very, very important, and I'm going to talk finally, and RECO will providing RECO with more authority over certain advertising, record keeping, and notice requirement. You notice that lots of properties are sold again and again. People are still keeping them in the internet. Unfortunately, certain things cannot be disappeared. But when the deal is done, you should take it down your virtual tour. Take it down your flyers. And what happens if the same property is being sold to somebody else and you're still carrying advertisement on the property? There is a guideline from Real Estate Council of advertising guideline for social media for sold property. You got to have a consent from buyer and seller. It has to be specific period of time. It has to have a certain percentage of amount rather than exact amount. Picture of the house. You have to have a written consent from buyer and seller. So these are the guidelines. And record keeping, when you're advertising, you're keeping a record. They can ask you what you're advertising. This is very, very important. So this is why it's very important. These changes are coming. I request all of you consumers to go to RECO, reco.on.ca and look for changes. You are making the biggest financial decision of your life. First of all, verify the person who is working with you is licensed. Make sure he or she is licensed with the brokerage who's representing you, because they're going to have your trust funds deposit into your account. There is a trust account. When you give deposit, you're a seller. It goes to real estate a trust account. Section 27 of the Real Estate Business Broker Act will talk about how to handle the trust account. And whether you want to earn interest or not interest, with disclosure requirement. So this is very important. The goal is, Realty Coffee Talk is to help you increase awareness what's happening in real estate, building your confidence in real estate, professionally dealing with the registrant, broker, sale agent or brokerage. So you are more confident. And I want to have a connectivity with you, connecting with you to answer your question, and also good ethics and professionalism and integrity in real estate. You are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. If you wish to advertise on our program, please call 647-484-0018. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow Royal Institute of Canada, and I look forward to see you next episode on next Thursday at 7 p.m. You're watching Realty Coffee Talk. May God bless you, and see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you. Bye for now. God bless you all. God bless Canada. Bye for now.